Guys, we're doing Detroit style pizza today. Let's head to the store and do some shopping. First, we're going to need some jack cheese, olive oil, bread flour, some yeast, two kinds of pepperoni. I'm going to need some mozzarella and some crushed tomatoes. I'll go buy all these things and head on out. And guys, the whole reason I'm doing this today is because I got me a new toy on Black Friday. Yep, it's a KitchenAid. So we're going to make some pizza dough with it. I thought that would be a great way to break it in. So here we go. I'm going to start with 2 cups of bread flour, 1 teaspoon of rapid rising yeast, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and I'm going to do 1 cup of water. Guys, this is not like a standard pizza crust. This is more like a focaccia bread almost. And we're making Detroit style pizza. Remember, it's a little bit different. So we're going to go ahead and get these ingredients all mixed up, and I'm going to use the dough hook today. I get that set up on the machine, and the first thing I'm going to do is just mix this around. I just want it to all get incorporated. Let the flour get incorporated with the water. And once I have a consistent mixture, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and I'm going to let it rest for about 10 minutes. After that, we're going to go ahead and turn the machine back on. I'm going to go to medium speed, and I'm going to let this mix for about 10 minutes till we form a nice silky ball. Let that machine do all the kneading for you. It's going to come together really nicely. And when we're done, we're going to take all the dough off that hook. I'm going to cover this tightly with some plastic. I'm going to form it into a nice tight little ball. And then I'm going to set it in a warm place to rise and let it go for about 2 hours or until it doubles in size. Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and make our sauce for the pizza. So I'm going to start with a couple tablespoons of olive oil. That's going to go in a pan on a medium-low heat. We're going to add 3 cloves of minced garlic, a tablespoon of dried oregano, and half a teaspoon of some red chili flakes. Guys, give that a little stir. And once it starts simmering, we only want to simmer it for about a minute. We don't want to burn it. Then we're going to go ahead and add in a nice crushed tomato in there. Give that a nice stir. And to that, we're going to go ahead and add some seasonings. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of dried garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, tablespoon of salt, and a tablespoon of sugar. We're going to go ahead and mix that all in really well. I still have this on a fairly low temperature, and I'm just going to let that simmer for about 20 minutes. Guys, at that point, it's going to be done. We're going to take it off the heat and just let it cool off. So now we're going to get back to that dough. You can see it's doubled in size, and we're ready to put it in the pan. I've got my 9x13 pan. I'm just going to hit that with a little bit of olive oil, and I'll put my dough into there, and I'm going to fold it on both sides, get it nice and covered in my oil. Then it's time to start stretching it. I'm just going to use my fingertips and press down from the center, and I'm going to press outward. And I'm going to try to get this to reach all the corners. And you can see this is real elasticy. It wants to come back in. So we're just going to get it out there as much as we can. And then we're going to go ahead and cover this whole thing in plastic. And we're going to let it relax for about 30 minutes. While that's happening, we're going to go ahead and get our cheese and pepperoni going. And for the cheese, since we're making a Detroit-style pizza, typically you would use what they call a Detroit brick cheese. And since that's not available to me here in Reno, I'm going to make my own blend of this cheese. All right, now it has a unique flavor, and it's got this melty factor that kind of burns on the edges and gets the perfect crispiness. So I'm using a low-moisture mozzarella, and I'm going to mix it with a young jack. Now, the way I know it's a young jack, it doesn't say that it's aged. All right, so I'm just going to dice both of those up into small cubes, and then I'm going to mix them at the end, and that's basically going to be my version of a Detroit brick blend cheese. All right, so I have my cheese ready. We're going to set that aside, and we're going to do our pepperoni now. I'm going to start, we're making triple pepperoni, by the way, so I'm going to start with this whole link of pepperoni, and I'm going to dice this up. I want just tiny little dices. So we're doing, I guess that's a small dice. And we're going to get that chopped up, and we'll set that aside. And then the other 2 pepperonis I'm using, that's your standard flat pepperoni. I'm also going to use this cup and crisp. And together, all 3 are going to be perfect. So my dough's relaxed. I'm going to go ahead and knock the air out of it. And I'm going to push it up into the corners now, and it's perfect. It's going to stay in those corners because it's had time to rest. Now, guys, this pizza is built a little different. You don't start with the sauce. You start with the meat. The pepperoni's going down. So I'm going to throw, this is just our standard flat pepperoni. And I'm going to get a nice layer all the way across the surface of this whole thing. So just keep layering it on. Get it all there. Then we're going to go ahead and grab that diced pepperoni. That's going to be next. And we're just going to sprinkle those on. That's going to kind of fill in some of those spots that didn't get any. This is going to be absolutely perfect. At this point, guys, we're going to hit it with our cheese. Now, when you do this, you want to be sure and get your cheese all the way up to the edge because you want that little kind of burnt, crispy side. That's the absolute best part of making this pizza. In my mind, that's the bite you want. That's that crispy edge. All right, now, once we get all that cheese on there, we're going to go ahead and take our final pepperoni. That's the cup and crisp. That's the stuff that like holds a little pocket of oil on top when it curls into a little half bowl. So we're going to just load up the top with our cup and crisp pepperoni. We're not going to quite do as thick of a layer this time. We're going to leave a little bit of space in between. Throw those all on. Once you have a nice layer of those on, guys, then we're going to go ahead and get our sauce. Now, again, it's different with the sauce here. We're not looking for full coverage. This isn't a deep dish pizza, and it's not your standard flat pizza. We're doing a couple of stripes, all right? So this gets one stripe down one side. It's going to get another stripe on the other. And that way, when we cut it, and you'll see what we do, every single piece is going to have a stripe of sauce going down it. We're going to cut this down the center, and then we're going to cut it across when it's done. It's going to be absolutely perfect. This is just about ready. Now, guys, I have my oven set at 500 degrees, and on the very bottom rack, I have my pizza stone. I want this thing to get cooked crispity crunchy on the bottom, and that looks perfect. Look at that. It was in there for about 18 minutes. It's sizzling, it's bubbly, and it's absolutely smells amazing. This is ready to go. And check out the bottom undercarriage, guys. It is perfect. All right, so we're going to cut this down the center, like I said, splitting right between that sauce. And then as we cut across, you can see each piece has its own stripe of sauce on it. I'm ready to just get in here and try it, man. I am so excited. Listen to this crunch. Oh, man, what a treat. Detroit-style pizza. My first attempt, and it came out perfect. Guys, the star of the show is that dough, and I wouldn't change a thing.
That's it. That's it. That's it. One more thing. This will take it to the next level. Let's give that a try. Now that's it.